Hey YouTubers, I've made a few upgrades to my garage door that I want to talk about. I've been thinking about swapping out the standard steel rollers for the new nylon Dura Lift rollers for some time. And I finally got around to doing that, and it's a huge upgrade. I highly recommend for about 25 bucks. And while I was working on the garage door and making adjustments to it, I realized my old Chamberlain belt drive door opener had some issues. And after pricing the parts I would need to fix that, and looking at what was available in the market, I decided to go ahead and replace it with a new Chamberlain unit. Now, the one I put in was the B6753T. I want to talk about why I chose that one, the installation, and why I like it. Okay, these are the Dura Lift Ultra Lift Max 2-inch sealed ball bearing garage door rollers. You get a 10-pack for about 25 bucks. And these fit most garage doors, and they're not too difficult to install, and they're very, very smooth and quiet. So this garage door was installed when the house was built about 25 years ago. And as you can see, there's quite a few windows in it, and it's a very heavy gauge of steel, which it's a great quality unit, but oh my gosh, is it heavy. And so installing these new Dura Lift nylon rollers really made it a lot smoother and quieter. Now, because these come with a sealed bearing, you do not have to spray any lubricant on the rollers anymore. And because they're nylon, you don't need to lubricate where the rollers touch the track. So you can go ahead and clean your track, get that nice and clean, and your rollers will run nice and smooth on that, and you don't have to lubricate the rollers or the track anymore. Now, you still do need to lubricate the stem where it passes through the sleeve, and you'll need to lubricate your hinges periodically, but having the sealed bearing cuts down a good bit on maintenance as well as reducing the noise. There are lots of great videos out on YouTube to show how to replace these rollers, so I'm not going to get into that, but I am going to offer you a few quick tips. The two general methods for replacing these are to either bend the track and sneak the roller out of the track, swap rollers, and then wedge the new one back in the track, or to remove the hinges. I use both methods. Now, one thing, you never, ever, ever want to take the bolt out of your bottom bracket. Your bottom bracket has a cable attached to it. I don't know if you can see it back here. Right back here. That cable runs up to the drum on either side, and those are under tension from your garage door springs. So if you take that bottom bracket off, this thing can come flying off and catch you in the face, and it'll ruin your day. So you have to sneak these bottom bracket wheels out of the track by bending the track. However, I found that difficult to do on the other wheels, so that's why I went ahead and just removed these other hinges, everything except the bottom one, and swapped out my wheels that way. One quick tip, don't use an impact driver or some other power tool on these. It's easy to strip these bolts out. You're much better off doing it with a socket wrench. So after I got the rollers in, I set about balancing my door because it was a little heavy. And so I had to retension my springs. They have relaxed a little bit. Be careful with old springs. If you don't know the age of the springs, you may want to call a professional to come in and do this because the old springs can be brittle. In this case, these springs were replaced a couple of years ago, and they just needed a little bit more tension on them because they've relaxed a little bit. So I retensioned my springs and got the door where it was nice and smooth, but I noticed my garage door opener had some issues. And so the first thing I noticed with the old garage door opener is it would raise the door fully, but then the door would kind of ease back down and the bottom roller would come down to about here. Well, that's not supposed to happen. And I also noticed some little bits of rubber on the floor. And when I looked up and took a good look at the belt on the old unit, that's where these teeth were coming off the belt. So in addition to the belt breaking up, I noticed the nylon guide inside the trolley was breaking up into pieces, so that needed to be replaced. And while I had the unit down to replace the trolley, I may as well put new gears in the unit. because it's 15 years old. So you start adding up the parts, and we've got $150 in parts. So to me, it didn't make sense to spend $150 on a 15-year-old garage door opener. So I started shopping for new ones, and I looked at the Chamberlain brand because it's easier to replace a Chamberlain with another Chamberlain, and I've had pretty good luck with them. And so you go to their website and you look at how many of their garage door openers are belt drive, and you got 12 of those. Well, I want battery backup. We had it in our last unit, and it really did come in handy whenever the power would go out. Well, that gets you down to 8 units to choose from. I also liked our old unit had a motion sensor. So when you would step out of the back door, the garage light came on automatically, and I really appreciate that. And also, both of our cars have HomeLink buttons on the overhead console to open the garage door. So when you start looking at Chamberlain drives that are belt drive, have battery backup, have HomeLink built in, and have a motion sensor, and you get down to one model. The top of the line B6753T, which also includes a camera. Now, I really don't care about the camera, but the model below this does not support HomeLink, and you have to buy a separate bridge adapter that sells for, I think, about $40. Now, the model below this with the bridge adapter is about $30 or $40 cheaper than this one, but there's a catch with the bridge adapter. The bridge adapter is a little unit that you plug into an outlet, and it has its own little remote control that you use to train your car HomeLink buttons to talk to the bridge adapter, which then in turn signals for the garage door opener to open or close. So it works, but when your power goes out, your bridge adapter doesn't work. So yes, you have battery backup, but it won't let you open or close your garage door from your HomeLink buttons in your car. So the bridge adapter, it's kind of a workaround, and I don't really like that. So I went ahead and got the mother of all garage door openers from Chamberlain. It was about $369. I'm not sure I love the camera. If you want to be able to review videos and save and playback videos captured by the motion sensing camera, then you need to pay $99 a year for their cloud service. I'm not doing that. Now, the camera is kind of handy. When you open up in their the little app that they have that goes with the garage door opener, you can see a live view of the garage, and that's kind of cool. But like I said, I think the camera is kind of a gimmick. One thing I do really like, the Built app. I've never used that before. A lot of manufacturers are supporting that now. That's a BILT. It provides step-by-step instructions on your smartphone on how to assemble and install a device, in this case a garage door opener, and it's very brand and model specific. So the installation is pretty much a one-person job except for actually hanging the unit. It's not difficult, but you're going to need 2 people. So here's a look at the remote control that you mount next to your back door. Here's your motion sensor right here. There's a switch to manually turn the garage door opener light on and off. And this particular unit has a 2000 lumen LED light, which is very nice and bright and should last for many years. I haven't peeled this sticker off yet, but you press down here to open and close your garage door. And underneath here, there's a switch to turn the sensor on and off for the motion sensor, to program your HomeLink in your cars, and to lock the garage door when it won't open, even when using one of the remote controls. Now, this garage door opener features a DC motor instead of an AC motor, and it's smoother and quieter, but I have noticed it's slightly slower than the old unit. But as you can hear, it's very quiet. Of course, a lot of that has to do with the garage door itself, but for a 25-year-old door, that's not too bad. If your garage door is like mine and one side receives more sun than the other, then you want to install the transmitter, which has a yellow light and no decal on the back, on the sunny side of the garage. And you want to install your receiver, which has a white sticker on the back and a green LED in the shade. So another benefit of keeping the same brand when you replace garage door openers is not only is the new install easier, but your old accessories like this 15-year-old keypad outside our garage can be programmed to work with the new one without any problem. So to summarize, the Chamberlain B6753T is pretty freaking awesome. I think the camera itself is kind of a gimmick. It's on there. I'll probably leave it deployed. You can fold it up into the unit and you don't even see it at all. I'll leave it out. It's a neat little thing to have, but I'm not paying for the cloud service. The app, MyQ, is very, very good, and it's nice to be able to open and close your garage door remotely. If you register for MyQ using your Amazon Prime, then it's automatically set up where if UPS offers the service in your area, UPS drivers can open your garage door, put your packages inside, and then close your garage door. Unfortunately, UPS doesn't offer that service in my area, so I can't speak to how well that works. Every other feature of the Chamberlain garage door opener meets or exceeds my expectations. Like I say, I think the camera's a little bit of a gimmick, but I had to get this model to get all the other features I wanted. Chamberlain also has a website called bridge.chamberlain.com, and you can put in your vehicle, your make, model, and year, and it will give you instructions specific to that vehicle for programming your HomeLink remotes. I found that very helpful, and I was able to program both cars to work with the new garage door opener perfectly on the first attempt. So I really appreciate Chamberlain doing that. So the Chamberlain garage door opener is, I think it's a good value. I think it's a little expensive, but it's very feature rich, and I look forward to having it for many, many years. The Dura Lift nylon rollers are a slam dunk for $25. You can't go wrong.